I saw the question, the super chat about the 21st century Mount Rushmore, and man, don't you have to put Will Howard on there? He won a national championship for you. Now you don't have to put Craig Krenzel on there. He won a national championship, but Will Howard did it in a way that Craig Krenzel did not.
Yeah, Craig Krenzel went 7 for 21 against Miami. Yeah, it's just completely different deal.
Yeah.
So the Mount Rushmore for the 21st century, we're talking a pretty limited line of quarterbacks. There's probably been about 10 starting quarterbacks in 25 years, maybe 12.
Yeah, I mean, you have in this century Krenzel, and then
Belisari,
Krenzel, and then he turned it over to Zwick and Troy Smith. Zwick was just he started about half a season. Troy Smith, Todd Beckman.
Yeah, Big Ten MVP.
Got to the national championship game. Then Terrell Pryor, Joe Bowserman, Braxton Miller, and then J.T. Barrett, Cardale Jones. And then
actually a tougher question than I thought it would be.
Dwayne O'Mac.
Yeah, I've got 7 names listed that I think you'd have to choose from, which is pretty good. But yeah, then you said Haskins, and then Fields and Stroud, like
McCord and Howard.
Yeah, that's a tough question, Yakov. When I first saw that, I thought it's only been the 21st century for 25 years. That's an easy question. There's got to be no.
If it's so easy, Mark, then let's hear it. If it's so easy,
Troy Smith, C.J. Stroud, Will Howard, Justin Fields.
Those are 4 pretty good ones.
Man, I thought for sure Terrell Pryor was going to be on my Mount Rushmore as soon as I saw that question, but I don't think he can be.
You can't put him on ahead of J.T. Barrett or Braxton Miller.
Yeah.
If Braxton Miller doesn't get hurt, he's going to hold he's going to be one of the all-time leading rushers. He's going to be the all-time leading passer. But I probably with you, Mark, you got to go with Troy Smith because he won a Heisman. C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in Ohio State history, the most. But Justin Fields is the only quarterback in the last however long that wasn't hated at some point by Ohio State fans. And C.J. Stroud can't even say that. But I would agree. I'd say Troy, C.J. Fields, and Will Howard, leaving Dwayne Haskins, who had arguably statistically the best season in school history. J.T. Barrett is statistically the greatest quarterback in Ohio State history in terms of production. Braxton Miller was going to be incredible, and he still got 3 years of 2.5 years of starting. But if he doesn't get hurt in the end of the 2013 season, like what kind of numbers does he put up in 2014? So those are some pretty remarkable guys, and that are left off. But I'm with you on those 4. I think. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, to split hairs like this. I mean, Dwayne Haskins had as good a single season as anybody could ever possibly have. And then, excuse me, J.T. Barrett, I mean, he gets hurt. Does he finish off that national championship season the way Cardale Jones did? We don't know that to be certain. And obviously split time the following season with Cardale Jones kind of clouds his legacy a little bit, but again, his career numbers are incredible. So I guess you got to give him credit. I just don't, and I agree. C.J. Stroud, just on the hoof, was the best quarterback Ohio State's ever had, just all around, to my opinion. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one, and Ohio State hasn't been known as a throwing school really over the years. I mean, it just was never, at the forefront of what they did. I mean, even, some of the numbers that Joe Germain put up were pretty good, but he was splitting time for 2 seasons with Stanley Jackson. So, it really never took hold here until we got to the modern era, I think, here with Urban and on with certainly Ryan Day coming to town.
Those 2 seasons that Justin Fields led,
Excuse me.
The 2019 team, my goodness, they were as good as any. And man, that Clemson game, not discrediting Clemson, but my goodness, they should have been playing in a national championship game. And then they did the next year, and they were decimated. And they were playing one of the great teams of the last 20 or 25 years. And they were just physically decimated at that point in the season. Wow. Yeah, 41 touchdowns, 3 picks for Fields in 2019. I don't remember his 2020 stats, but yeah.
He was so good that Michigan refused to play against him in 2020. That's how good he was.
That's what some claim. Yes. Terrell Pryor was I don't think Terrell Pryor gets enough credit. I really don't. And when I first saw him throw a football, I just couldn't believe how bad he was. Or how bad it looked. I just couldn't believe it. And my son immediately took to him and just thought he was he was his favorite athlete on the planet immediately. And I was like, I would just constantly make fun of the way he threw, but he grew on me, and he gained my respect, and he walked away with a Rose Bowl and a Sugar Bowl MVP.
Yep. I mean, he had a good career, and he's a little, obviously unorthodox when you talk about the quarterback position with his throwing motion, his ability to, I don't think anything's there. I'm just going to go get 25 yards on my own running the football here. I mean, he was special. There's no two ways about it. So he had different ways he could beat your defense, and that was and he was probably a better passer on the whole, and he improved dramatically, obviously, from his first year to his third year. He improved dramatically, I think, throwing the football. But, he never threw a lot of interceptions or made a lot of mistakes that took him out of games. And, I mean, he had the one fumble against Penn State, but he's just trying to stretch and make a play there. So, what else can you say? But, going back to that time, I mean, they were, other than the USC game, they were very competitive and all that. And, in major bowl games, if they weren't necessarily in the national championship game any of his 3 years, but, they were number one for a week there in 2010, but and then that went by the wayside at Wisconsin, where he had already won a game at Wisconsin when they went up there and lost the game at Wisconsin. So that's kind of weird, but to have already been there and done that, and then go back a second time and you're not able to get it done. But it was those were certainly good times, and it's like Troy Smith begat Terrell Pryor, who begat Braxton Miller, and then on and on down through. So it's been quite a lineage.
I think Pryor was kind of saddled with the Jim Tressel offense, but Troy Smith was able to win a Heisman with Jim Tressel's offense, but it was a Heisman where he threw for like 2,500 yards, which is not a lot in today's day and age, or even in that day and age. I think the other thing with Pryor, it's like he was never as good as you wanted him to be. He was never a first or second team all Big Ten guy in his 3 years, and you wouldn't expect it as a freshman, but he was also the first quarterback to ever lead a team to a BCS Bowl in his first 3 years as a quarterback, on campus. Like nobody had ever done that before. So like there is a legacy there of him taking Ohio State to what used to be good heights back in the BCS days. Like that meant something when you made that. And he did it as a true freshman, sophomore, and junior, even though I think the junior year may have been, redacted. I don't know. It depends on what kind of clearance you have to be able to see what happened back then. But
I want him to release the paperwork.
Yeah. I think it's 25 years after Jackie O dies, and then they'll release it. But I listed 7 guys as trying to figure out who my Mount Rushmore was, and I didn't put Terrell Pryor in there because he never ascended into the atmosphere of the upper atmosphere of the Big Ten. But Will Howard was a third team all Big Ten pick last year, and he won a national championship. So Kyle McCord was third team all Big Ten, and he did not.